Call me back? Do you want to call back and see if that's better?
Wait,
We can try it. I can hear you.
Okay, okay. That's
Okay.
odd, because I've got volume on max. Everything's on max. And I'm on the e-meet. Well, let me go back to the iPhone and then reconnect to the e-meet.
It's better.
there we go.
You sound a little louder
Yeah, you
too.
sound better too.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Oh, it's like you're in the room. Cool. Who wants to start? Cheryl?
Okay, so, speed bumps, we're gonna talk about on the regular
Yeah.
agenda, but I've been getting phone calls. And I actually may have missed this, but I have to say, I never saw a design where they went all the way across.
I didn't.
That's
So
exactly,
You didn't either.
that's exactly my thought. is
I didn't
I emailed
They
Rick,
shouldn't have gone all
I
the way
emailed
across.
Rick, and I said, we always had the conversation, I said, we had the conversation that we're gonna have gaps in between so that emergency vehicles could span the road, and then also have access for bicycles and golf carts, and not go.
And motorcycles, by the way, that will knock that motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Because
I
Joe
watched
went out,
Steve
Joe went
go
out and
over
said,
it
I
the other
can't
day.
go out that
Yes,
way
sir.
anymore.
So everybody know, I had a conversation with Rick on Friday,
Okay.
send him pictures, he went, those are going all the way across. I said, yes, sir, he goes, they were never intended to go all the way across. He said, my specs to the guy
Okay,
is just in front of the stop signs. He called the guy, and the guy said, no, we didn't put them all the way across, and he goes, pictures incoming. And the guy went, oh my goodness, we'll be taking care of that.
Okay, so they can take
Okay.
them off. Good.
so I just also want to add a little bit to that. So while I'm sure we have all heard negative responses, I have received a lot of positive feedback, basically saying, yes, I finally feel like I can cross Veneto and not getting picked off. So the people who live on Padova at that end are ecstatic because they're slowing people down. There are, so a lot of good things.
Good, 'cause I haven't gotten,
I have
I
gotten, I have people come up to me and say things to me about it, yes.
good. I do have to share one Carol Thackeray called me.
Me too.
And she asked, I told her, I invited her to come this morning, and she didn't want to, but she wanted to make sure that I would share her comments, so here we go. Her comment is, she only commented on the exit speed bump,
Oh, interesting.
and she
Okay.
said, we shouldn't even have a gate there, people should just be allowed to leave, and she really, really does not like the exit bump, because it doesn't make any sense, you're leaving the community. I said, I will share your sentiments with the board. And so I have.
Thank you.
And so, and I said, we all believe that it should be there. I did tell her that. We all agreed to it. I didn't even talk about the ones at Padova, because she didn't bring that up at all. She was only concerned about the exit one. But I told her we were all in favor of that, but I'm sharing her comments with you.
Yeah.
So
Okay, thanks.
I'm assuming that we all received the letter FedEx.
Yes,
There's no email address for that.
I called him.
You did, okay, so.
Ted Batsto,
Ted Basto,
very nice guy.
Nice guy.
What lit that?
Here, you want to read it?
Yeah, oh,
Because Joe said, are you expecting a letter that I had to sign for? And I said,
I didn't get one.
my
Maybe we're
husband said
getting
the
sued.
same.
I know,
thing.
and Amy looked at the
It's like
envelope and
some
said,
husband
what
I
did you
didn't
do?
know.
I
That's
know.
what I got from
I didn't
you,
get
it
one.
was, what did
that
you
was
do?
what Joe said. He said, are you being sued?
Right.
I was like, oh my God.
So let me just say this, his reference to, general speed bumps in the community, he clearly has never he thinks these are the first ones that have gone in based on the
No,
way
he
they're rated.
doesn't.
Okay, he doesn't.
He doesn't. No, in fact, he said to me, he thinks that because we talked about this.
Okay,
And I said, are you asking for all the speed bumps to be removed? Because,
Right.
I think maybe I had that conversation with somebody else, but regardless,
okay,
he likes the speed pillows and said they're great. His concern was, because he lives up in Padova Heights,
mhm.
he said, when I leave, I get to the end of Padova and I go over one bump, or are there further up Padova?
No, there's none.
Okay, so you make a right, you go over one bump, and then when you make a right,
Is
onto
that-
Venetian.
which-
Yes,
and-
There's
and-
another
and-
bump right
and-
there.
And those will
it
be coming,
should not
those will be gone.
There should not be a bump.
Yeah,
we'll
and,
be
and
taking
I
those
said to
out.
him,
Yeah.
because I had walked there, but I didn't see
Yeah.
them.
the day I saw
didn't
you, when I
process
was
it.
out running or
Process
doing,
it.
walking Sam or doing something,
Yeah.
I was golfing. I was
Yes, you
golfing.
were golfing. Yeah, that was.
Coming
your
back, yes, I waved to you. I thought you had seen them, but they
I
weren't
didn't process
painted
it.
at the time
Didn't process
when I
it.
had seen you. Yeah,
Now, I also think that even if we're gonna do this just on one side, we have to leave space by the curb for a
Yes.
bicycle, motorcycle, or a golf cart.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be pulled off because,
I say we pull it off about a foot,
well, however,
however,
well,
well, but
whatever the pillow distance is now.
Right.
you know,
make that,
Right.
okay.
I would make that the distance,
Right.
because it's just enough for a golf cart to go through on the side, or a bicycle, or a motorcycle, because you don't want a
Or an
golf cart.
emergency vehicle.
Well,
Or-
because you don't want, you don't want a bicyclist or a golf cart having to pull into the wrong direction of traffic
Right,
to go around it,
Right.
and then somebody not
Right.
stopping.
Or
it.
a
Right.
motorcycle, sorry, I'm very, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
Joe,
so-
Joe was like, oh my,
No,
God, he went over
Well,
there with his motorcycle.
I went over,
Like, yeah,
I
the
went
other
over,
day.
I went over with my golf cart before it got painted, and I didn't realize it.
Oh,
I was- I was,
I
I was 3 feet in the air. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, okay, good.
So-
I mean, I always stop at the stop sign, but golf carts don't take long to stop. I mean, they stop very
Now, let
quickly.
me ask a crazy question. If they're gonna be essentially completely redone, are we better off doing pillows?
No,
Oh, okay.
absolutely,
Just
because what's happening is with
People
this,
can roll the
bump.
pillows at 22.
yeah, you can roll the
Yeah.
pillows.
Oh, I
People-
see.
People, you can't go any faster than 5 miles an hour. You're coming into a stop sign.
Fair enough,
You're coming into a
Yeah.
stop sign.
right?
So
Okay.
I think we leave them as the bumps. I think they are incredibly
And we
effective.
also
Okay.
need, and we also need a sign that says speed bump.
Yeah, we do need that. But I think they're incredibly effective,
Okay.
just on based on what I've
So,
heard.
so we should put this on the record, because I think there are a lot of people, and I feel like it's when I talk to
I
Carol,
think
it
it's on the agenda.
It is on the.
is on the
Yeah.
agenda, but I just wanna
Okay,
make
I
sure.
just
we-
was trying
I put it on
to
the
clear, like,
agenda.
did I fall asleep during a meeting and
Yeah.
miss the whole across?
And because I said, because I said to Rick, because Rick actually answered me in an email, he said, oh, no, that's what speed bump's supposed to be, it's supposed to be the whole way across. So I don't know why he answered Keith differently, but
Unless he meant the lane and not.
maybe, I
We
don't know.
meant the,
Yeah,
the
Because
Possible,
the lane,
possible,
you put it
possible.
across the whole roadway.
Because I said it goes across from curb to curb.
Oh, could be, didn't process
Yeah,
it.
maybe.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't process
All right.
it either.
But
okay.
that was the specs that he had sent to the guy, and the guy was he went, oh, no, we didn't. Oh, yes, you did.
Oh.
So I was out there taking pictures with Dan, and nobody, well, there was 2 cars that stopped and the 30 that went by.
Hmm.
They went over the speed bump and blew the stop sign. So they don't, and so then they had to slow down again for the other one, because it's on, goes
Yeah.
clear across. So, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing,
Yeah.
speed bump in and then blowing the stop sign. I even
But
went to.
How is that
sit-
even possible?
Yeah,
I mean, you have to like
Because they don't
practically
care
stop
about
to
their
get
car.
over that.
because they don't care
lane.
about, well, and that's the other thing I think that we need to be clear about is you're rolling into a stop sign. If you're going over that bump at a speed that can ruin your car, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because if you roll over that thing at, 5 miles an hour or less, I don't even
Right.
feel it, so,
Right.
yeah.
Ken, you haven't said anything. Do you need to pipe up? Oh, yeah, let me just let Ken, yeah.
He hasn't seen it.
I've been listening, and I agree with what you're saying. Are they painted yellow?
Yes.
They are now, yes.
They are now.
But
So,
when they were painted yellow, people ran over them, so they're not very bright yellow. A lot of the paint's already off.
Somebody put
Yeah.
some question marks on it.
Yeah, but that's got
I
painted
said-
over.
I sent you all pictures of
Mm-hmm.
speed tables that were put in up here
Yeah.
recently that are A, very effective, and B, maybe less obtrusive because they're not painted yellow. I don't know if that was one of his comments in the letter. I did get his letter.
Well, yeah, I
Very-
think,
Very
yeah,
well written.
yeah.
Better.
And isn't that weird? Yeah, when I talked to him, I think, he's, and he's gonna come at 9:30, which is good, and he's the one where I found out, because even though I was on foot, I didn't notice, he's the one who said, they go all the way across the roadway. I said, you're joking. I walked by there, he said, nope, they do. So, but I take Cindy's point that a speed table, people are gonna roll over that. The bumps are gonna make people stop.
At least
In
slow down
some
to 5.
cases, Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nancy, do you guys mind if we let Nancy weigh in? Nancy, go ahead.
I don't know why you're making space for golf carts. Golf carts are supposed to come to a complete stop. I have a golf cart, it's perfectly fine when you go at the desired speed at a stop sign to go over with the golf cart. The only problem is if you're jamming over it and flying
Yes.
up, are the people that would want to stop. And I know people that don't believe that golf carts for some reason are a vehicle and they go straight through.
Agreed.
They should stop just like cars.
I drove over yesterday, I mean, I stopped at all the stop signs, so I went over yesterday slowly. It's still pretty hard on the golf cart. I mean, maybe if you have a new golf cart, it's great, but I have an older
I have
used
a
golf
golf
cart.
cart that I bought 9 years ago.
Okay, well,
Perfectly fine.
mine's older than that, and I went over yesterday, and it was pretty rough. That's the only reason I'm saying that. I mean, yeah, absolutely, everybody should stop. Motorcycles, cars,
Bikes.
bicycles,
Yes.
everything should stop this time.
I can see bikes personally because I think it might be dangerous. On a bike, you might see accidents, people coming to it like a complete wall because all of a sudden they see it and they fall off
Well,
their
but then
bike.
we need to cut our.
I think it's fine, personally.
All right, so we'll talk to Rick then.
Yep.
And make sure this gets on the record. And it's not gonna cost us any money.
Shouldn't, no, not if they screwed it up.
That it was their
No,
screw up.
they should just take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do you have to keep
Were you
going?
trying to say something, Darlene?
I have the same kind of question, Nancy. We have such a big issue with lights going through stop signs, and it's so dangerous, because we give them a leeway just so that bikes don't have to go over the speed limit.
Well, I think
I think you're effectively telling them it's okay.
No, well, so I think it should be cut in from the curb, and I will tell you, I bike. And I stop at every stop sign. Going over one of those, because you're coming into the stop sign, actually becomes more dangerous. Because, well, and I'm clipped into my bicycle, those people who have just regular pedals, it might not be so bad. But when you're going over that hump at such a slow speed, it can take you out. I think we need a little bit of cut in at the curb for the bicycles. I agree with Nancy about the golf carts. But it's dangerous for the bicycles.
I agree with you, being a biker who's not clipped in, but maybe not as coordinated. I need space to get through there. There's no way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
but when
right.
you're clipped in, you can't go, you can't go slowly hit a bump and be clipped in.
No,
Okay.
no, you're going down.
All right,
As
we're good.
gracefully as I do, I can go down.
Okay, one little thing about collections.
Yes.
Collections continue, the amount continues to go down. The collection letters did go out, email and snail mail, so that people will hopefully have to get them. We have had a lot of more ACH activity, given the last round of letters, which said, if you don't pay this off, your access cards will be turned
excellent.
off. And the original letter said, we'll cancel your RFID. I said, no, we can't do that. So we just said your access cards won't work, and you will have no ability to charge anything at the club. So, and it's working, people are responding. We do have one that I need to talk to the board about.
Mhm.
We have a resident, who has a balance of a little over $500 from a tenant that he had back in 2022. This has not been followed up on until now,
No, he
so
has to pay.
I talked to Kelso and Becky, and she has authority to give a little discount on anything to get it taken care of. I said, offer him a little discount, and then he wrote me a letter and said, absolutely not. This is taking too long, and I said, it's your responsibility. So
Yeah.
he sent me his lease, which I thought was hysterical, because he copied a part of it that said, he said, look at this is actually, I'm not responsible. But he didn't go on to the last paragraph, which said he was responsible.
But it does,
So-
but it does make a difference. His lease with his tenant has nothing to do with
The
his
master
responsibility to the master declaration.
Correct.
It's the
So
master
we
debt.
all may get another FedEx letter. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Okay.
So I am still pushing him, but he is not a happy man about
Oh,
this
well.
whole thing.
We're not all gonna
But I-
pay for
but
his
I- but I
tenant
got a
on which he
question.
made money.
If it really was
Exactly.
2020, if it was really from 2022, how come nobody followed this up for two?
That's
three
the,
years?
that's the only issue I have, which is why I told Becky, go ahead and offer him a small discount, which she
That's
did.
why we have a new management company.
It definitely should have been, I don't disagree with him that it should have been followed up earlier. It doesn't make it any less his responsibility.
No, it doesn't.
Right, well,
So he should have taken the discount, because that's not gonna go away.
Go,
Yes,
Ken.
Ken.
I have a question. So if we are going to put the convenience fee on, will we then allow residents to pay their monthly bill with a credit card again?
That would be
And
an
the
option.
convenience fee?
I guess we could, but
I would get Hampton's advice on it, and let me tell you why, because you may have seen this in the exchange I forwarded to you for info from Hampton CFO, that transactions like that, I guess unless we're gonna do it online, which I guess we could, we need to be careful we're not creating something that's resource heavy in terms of personnel to process. So I guess maybe if we're gonna do it online, we could consider it, but I think we should get some advice from Hampton.
Okay, I'm just raising the question.
Yep.
Since we're adding the fee and we're letting people charge
well,
on
because
a transaction basis, why wouldn't they be able to pay their monthly bill?
And that would actually cut down the transaction fees.
I see, because the amount goes up, so the fees go down.
Yeah.
Well, no, instead of 18 transactions in a month, it's only
One.
one.
It's something that we can talk to,
It's-
yeah,
It actually saves us money
okay,
right,
Right.
yeah.
with fewer transactions.
okay. Okay.
So,
Well, maybe we'll have a larger discussion about the fees, because we want to be careful not to change and then change again. So, so anyway, but we'll talk about that maybe on the record, because I think some people will be paying attention to that item, if that's okay.
Yep.
One other,
Yeah, go.
sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead and finish and then, because I want to piggyback onto your AR conversation.
Are you putting it back now?
Okay, so I've been doing the cash tracking, and this is just more of an update on the cash tracking. So Jill, my understanding is based on a couple of the emails that I got from Dave from Dana, is that we're supposed to have some cash inflow in the next day or so for some reserves and a reserve adjustment that should be taking place.
Yes.
Okay, even with that, the way I'm looking at it right now, we're probably gonna be close to about $100,000 short in September. So, everything that I am seeing here, unless I overestimated some Vesta payroll accruals and things like that, with the September AP cash run, outstanding AP and everything else, I'm guessing probably close to about 100,000. I'll keep an eye on it, but I just wanted to give everybody an update as to what's happening with the cash right now. Digging into the balance sheet, it gives you a different insight, but when you look into
Where the real dirt is.
it's where the real dirt is at, and there is some, this goes hand in hand with us changing management companies. I'll just give you an example. There's stuff booked to prepaid expenses that are actually shown as an accrual, and the offset is in accounts payable. Well, you don't do that. Prepaid expenses are prepaid expenses, right? That's, so,
The operative one.
right,
Wow.
right. So there's things like that going on. It's the way they calculate inventory and everything that's getting pushed into cost of goods sold. It's messy accounting practices, by far not GAAP.
Okay.
So that's my update on that. That's all I just wanted to say.
And to piggyback on that, last meeting, I mentioned why we had this differential in cost of goods in June versus July, and Ken brought up, well, because there was a notation in there. Well, I went back and a couple things. First off, there should not have been a notation. They should have accrued for the expenses against open purchase orders. So that was a big mistake, number one. Number two, the invoices were dated 6/23, 6/22, 6/21, 6/20. So there were about 10 invoices dated in June that they claim were posted in July, paid for on July 31st.
What?
And then the best one is, in the system, it says it was posted on August 15th.
So,
So
but,
how do you post something on August 15th, pay for it on July 31st? Tell me that the invoice date is July 1, but it's really 6/20. I
but,
mean, talk about the most bizarre, inaccurate gap accounting possible.
well,
And
it's,
to not, and not to accrue for those things is ridiculous.
what makes it even worse, it was accrued into COGS and not into inventory.
How
That's,
can that be?
that's my point, is they violate the matching principle with doing what they're doing. So all the invoices that get cut and paid go into COGS, it doesn't go into inventory.
Then your
That doesn't
inventory's
make
off too, and your balance
Exactly.
sheet's
Well,
a
but-
mess.
No, the inventory is accurate, but
Because they do a physical inventory and then they do the offset
Oh,
in the COGS.
oh.
But you could purchase 75 bottles of ketchup and it ends up in COGS and you're not using it until 3 months later.
Right,
So the
Right.
whole thing is just messing up everything.
Should be an inventory.
It should be an
Yeah.
inventory. So that's
okay.
kind of, as like I said, as I dove into this, I'm like, it's just not cash.
and I dove into it also based upon the last conversation, and I'm looking at all this stuff, and it's just, I can't believe they're counting of how many ins and outs and things that they have, but to have every date wrong that's possible. I mean, the whole reason you hold open your accounting until the 19th of the following month is to make sure you capture all those open
Right.
invoices that may have come in late, but they're all dated in, somewhere in June, and they held them out. I don't know why, and they were not processed the normal way, so Brian never processed them. Kelso never signed for them. They were done up in Jacksonville by Daniel Black. So it's like a whole weird set of
Well,
invoices.
we always knew there were invoices that were going separately, and I don't.
But these were Cisco and
Yeah.
Cheney that normally come here that derailed the normal system somehow, and.
Well, I think the point, we just have to get through it. because
We have to get through
No,
it.
I'm
I
just,
think,
yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
Hampton,
Right.
Yes.
I think, from my understanding, Hampton is a different system, but I want to come back to actual cash for a second, because two questions I have are, did your calculations have a plug for the amount of money that we're gonna have to restate the budget? We're gonna have to restate the budget, and if we're gonna be behind $150,000, we're gonna literally need $150,000.
We're gonna be, yeah, it does
Okay.
not have that,
Okay.
yes.
And then the
So-
second question is, I don't know that I don't remember whether we get any tax receipts in September and October, whether there's anybody who actually pays monthly, but maybe there's some, but I don't know whether we get any tax receipts this year.
I don't have that figured in. The only thing that I have figured in is the Dana cash infusion of 150
Okay.
grand a month.
Sure,
And when I talked to Dave, he said, we've got it for September, we've got it for October.
right,
We don't have the 150,000 for November.
no.
So that's.
In cash, I mean,
In
I
cash,
don't wanna scare people, we have the
Right.
money, it's just not,
in operating
Okay.
You
cash.
have to look at it.
okay.
Yes,
So-
yes.
And-
So, I mean, and then this goes back to things like I found, like, what we were talking about. And I watched, regulatory compliance training invoices all get cleared out in August that we should have been paying for over the quarters of the year. So, I don't know what else we're actually missing that might come through,
Yeah.
that we might get hit up for
Should
that we're
we
not
have a
aware of.
plug for that?
Well, and I don't have one now,
Okay.
right, I do not have a plug for that yet,
Okay.
so that's something that we need to think about,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and that-
Thank you for doing
Yeah,
this.
and I was looking also just trying to figure out what was going on with all of these weird cogs and obviously invoices and the way that they do things. I've seen 15 different ways of them processing the same, 15 different ways of processing the same thing. Invoices would be here, invoices wouldn't be there. There'd be a notation, there'd be this, there'd be that. It's like, you just can't believe how there is literally no consistency whatsoever in anything that they do. Because every time you open something, it looks different than the previous one.
So this kind of, and then I'll let you go, Cheryl. Get back to your thing. This brings up a conversation that is a great workshop conversation, and the fact that, we're rolling over to Hampton on October 1st. How do we feel about Hampton possibly closing our year-end financial statements as of September 30th? And then just saying for Vesta, you know what? Provide consultative support for questions that come in. Because then we at least know we'll get a baseline as of September 30th of an accurate balance sheet, which I think is incredibly important. So just food for thought.
Are they willing to do that?
I don't know. I tossed the idea out to them. I sent them an email. I haven't heard back.
Well,
So,
we'll go
So
through
that's
some of this in the
okay,
update,
Well,
but
okay.
yeah.
technically, Hampton will be here, September 30th, Vesta will be gone.
Mhm.
So they can't do a closeout on September 30th.
In theory, they would.
In
but-
the financials, they can close out as of September 30th.
In theory, yeah.
The financials always take place after.
After.
So
Right,
that
right.
part is fine.
Right.
It's just, are they willing, because that is not bookkeeping they have been involved in.
Right.
Right.
I know. And yeah, so
One
just,
set of
I just
hands.
wanted to put it planted in your brains. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, sure.
Last thing, POA, we know with the POA, with the transition, they did change their October meeting to October 16th, and I will be out of the country that date, so I need somebody to fill in for me.
Okay. I mean, they'll come probably here.
What day of the week is that?
October 16th is
Thursday.
a Thursday.
I can probably do that.
Ken's back in country.
Oh,
Okay, thanks, Ken.
all right.
Also, we need a new date for the October 13th
Yes.
meeting. And so since I don't want to miss 2 meetings in a row, that has been bothering me. If we move it up a week, it's still 2 weeks from the prior meeting.
Okay.
So I would like to move it, I would recommend we move it to October 6th. And we have to do this during the regular meeting. But I want to-
Hang on, let me see.
That's the same
October
thing
6th?
that I said to Zach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
said-
suggested the 6th.
yeah, I said I'm
Okay.
available whenever.
Yeah, I thought it made sense to do
Yeah,
the 6th.
Yeah,
No problem.
that works for me, I can do that.
okay.
All right.
Thank you. That's it. Sorry for the long.
Okay. Did you have anything else, Cindy?
The only other thing I had, like, as a workshop conversation was the November 24th meeting. I know I'm jumping ahead, but that's the week of Thanksgiving, and I will be out of town.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to take dates for that too.
Normally we cancel.
We do?
In prior years, when it falls on a holiday week, as long as we don't have anything significant going on,
Okay,
because it's going to be a problem for everybody unless we move it.
okay.
Well, no, since we have a new management company, though, is there a reason we should at least keep a workshop?
Well, maybe we should wait till they are part of this conversation. We only
We
need
have
2
plenty of
weeks.
time.
Sorry.
And we
but
could always,
good to
we
know.
could always discuss it on the 10th of November and see what we're doing. I mean,
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
Cheryl
If
was
if we
saying.
had 4 people and
Okay.
or
right, very
call in or something.
Yeah, I'll actually be on the road, but I can certainly call in. Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you have anything else?
No, well, that was.
Okay, Ken?
That was
you have
my
anything?
Yeah.
last speak.
Okay,
Yeah, I have an update,
okay,
I'd like to talk about.
okay.
So I talked with, Heritage Golf again about the Welcome Center. Well, in addition to the landscaping questions, but, they're telling me they are amenable to a long-term lease. They're not turning the property over to us or making a donation in kind, even though, because there's too many accounting issues for them. But they would consider a long-term lease, and they are looking for at least an outline, not a lease, but an outline of what our thoughts are. What we would be willing to do, willing to take over, basically an outline of the structure.
Cool.
So I wanted to come back to this group, the board, and make sure that we are really serious about this before
Mhm.
going down that path.
It can't,
Because we're talking about taking over the entire responsibility for that facility.
Mhm.
As is, where is. And, do we as a community want to be funding that? Because my guess is it's gonna, for whatever we want to use it for, it's gonna take a fair amount of updating and renovation.
Ken, I've got, is Heritage interested in selling it to us as well, or only leasing?
They talked about a long-term lease. I tried to get a price out of them, they, I think the problem they have is it's on their books at such a high value
Mm-hmm,
that,
sure,
that, they don't want to take a write-off
that makes sense.
on their books.
Right,
Makes sense.
yeah, I get that, but leasing it and then doing construction may cost us more than it would to buy it, because if we were to buy the building and then got a loan to buy it and then do construction on it,
Yeah,
for like every $1 million, on a 15-year loan at, 7% interest, it's $75 per household per year, which is relatively
That's negligible.
insignificant, but if we were to go ahead and buy, lease it, we may not be able to get a loan to do construction on the building.
my
and then
personal
it's
view-
and then it's assessments.
on this is I think we need,
Okay.
because I don't feel like I understand this stuff well enough to represent the community on it. I'd love to see a group of
Mhm.
residents
Mhm.
directed by a supervisor.
Including
of-
realtors.
Yes,
Yes,
kind of like when,
Commercial real estate people.
when the community was advised about buying the River Club, whatever you think about the decision, my personal opinion, 20% of the board is, I'd like to hear an expert panel of people opine.
me too. I would like, because I think that group also needs to take a look at the infrastructure inside the building and see what we're looking at in terms of freshening it up.
My biggest concern, because it's not just freshening up, there are mold
Yeah.
issues in there.
Yeah,
That remediation is gonna be expensive.
yeah. So,
If you're not getting, you probably have to rip everything out.
Yeah.
And
Or knock it down. Maybe they wouldn't care if you.
maybe
knocked it
they
down.
wouldn't care if they
Maybe
knocked
the
it down.
land is worth more than anything
well,
else.
that's one of the
And
questions
the
we have to ask
investment
them.
would be demolition,
But
but
the question is, I don't know what kind of loan we can get as an
No.
organization
But-
if we don't own the property. Probably could if it was long enough lease.
But I think this is where, I want us to be careful not to be spending hours, this is my opinion, churning through it at a meeting
agree.
where we have
Yes.
some experts who can come back and
I
say, we
agree.
need to consider this, this, and this, because of that, that, and that.
Absolutely. I agree with
Recommendations
that.
and
So,
concerns.
so what do we do next then? Is
Well, we can form a work group.
it gonna be a work group, or does it have to meet in the sunshine?
I think it could be a work group, because
Just
they're
least to
just going
start.
through options.
At least,
Okay.
at
With a
least,
report
at least
Yeah,
to
because
start.
it's got a definitive end date, right?
Right.
It'll have a window, it's not an ongoing, so I
As long
think
as
we could
it's
probably,
not advice. Okay.
yeah.
That's good.
I think we should let Andy know in the
Okay.
legal update that this is where we are, just so he has that. 'Cause
I mean, I know Ernest has done some real estate stuff. I know a neighbor of mine is in commercial.
I think we have a lot of really.
We have a
smart
lot
people.
of-
We've got some great
Yeah.
resources.
We need to reach out to these people
Okay.
and see.
Already on this,
Oh, you did,
who
okay.
were, well, I wanted to talk to people who were familiar with the local real estate market,
Okay,
commercial real estate.
It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be local. I mean,
I think
So-
it
that
does.
would be for valuation local, but anybody could help.
Well, I like the
No,
local
I wouldn't say
idea.
anybody,
Yeah,
You need a
well,
commercial.
are we,
anybody can have
yeah,
an opinion.
but I think it's a commercial real estate.
No, that's okay. A commercial, a commercial real estate person doesn't have to have experience in Florida. They could be,
I disagree. Why wouldn't they need
Florida's very
experience in
interesting.
Florida? It's a completely different animal.
because you're negotiating, you're negotiating a lease and looking at construction. You're not, you're
I
not
understand,
building.
but if our intent is to do something commercial with it as an option, then we need.
But that's a difference. I thought.
Yeah, but isn't that part of the picture?
I thought.
We
this-
need all the
It- it-
options. I think we need
That
all
was
the
one of the
options.
suggestions.
Of what we're gonna do with it?
Yeah,
Ah, okay, that,
I think we need all, I think we blue sky it. And just say,
I
well,
think
what?
we'll never get to an end, with that.
But I think it's worth doing, because we're not talking about a small amount of money.
right.
No,
And I would like to know the gamut of what the options are, so
That's
are
the-
we
Yeah.
gonna, during the meeting then, ask Ken to lead this group and put together this group, or what are we doing? Because we have to authorize the work group.
Well, I guess my question is, my question would be, does that hobble your ability, because this would probably roll on more than 6 months, does that hobble your ability to go back to Maine?
Right.
Should we pick somebody local? No
Well,
offense,
I'm
but,
there, eh?
oh, okay.
Okay, great.
Okay. I was just asking the question, not
If
insinuating.
if it goes beyond 8 months, we're in trouble anyway.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you're probably the one with the bandwidth.
So we can do it during golf club update?
Yes,
Perfect.
all right,
Great.
okay. Thank you.
Great.
Okay. All right, so does anybody have anything else? Because I had a couple things, but, all right, so La Sala Work Group, I just wanted to let you know, the group continues to work, and I want to say thanks again to both of the group and to you guys as supervisors for talking to the group. It's really helpful. We're gonna go back to, I think I already said this before, but we're going back to the architect now to have him see about some refinements. And also, I think, two key things that I wanted to point out to you. Number one, the group thinks it's important that Hampton have a look at this plan and weigh in on it, since all of the rest of us in the room here have done that. So that's first, and then second, the floor plans, I think it's a little big thing. One of the things we're gonna be asking the architect to do is to make sure that the table sizes are completely accurate. I'm not convinced that what I'm seeing on the current plan is actually a 42-inch table to scale in the dining room. So we're getting that. So that's what's happening now, and as soon as Hampton's had a look, I will tell you, when Jamie Selby was here last week, he said, I think you guys are doing the right thing. Your choice would either be to go that way, meaning toward the preserve Ken, or that way toward the pools. And it makes sense doing what you're doing. So, and he did say he thought it made a lot of sense to give up the pathway through, because you don't see the preserve anyway. That to block, use that rotunda for either storage or something else. It was just Jamie's gut reaction input to it. But I think they need to take a closer look at it and see how the flow works. So, and you guys can have a chance to talk to them. So that's La Sala. I wanted to sort of directing this at kind of at Cindy and kind of at Ken, but so there's I had stopped a transfer last week for $2,850 for a Westfall roof repair, because I thought it was a duplicate. And I think Kelso thought it was a duplicate as well. It was not, so I will be putting that through. So Cindy, there's an open invoice.
Okay,
I'll copy you for
Okay.
info only
okay, great.
on this.
Thank you.
I was wondering what happened to that.
Yeah, so, well, I think it's partly my fault, because this is exactly the same number as a change order that was in the original $12,065 thing. And I said, what are the chances the repair number's the same? So I stopped it before the transaction went through at Dana. And then the second thing on reserves, Ken, I wanted to put the $6,000 of new pizza stuff from early this year into River Club New Capital. It's only $6,000. I think we have, like a few bucks in River Club New Capital. Is that where I should put it?
Well, that's where it belongs. I don't
It
know
is.
how much capacity we have there, because everything hadn't been charged to that.
Okay, no, I think because it was a loan, right? So
Mhm.
I'll check
It was
with,
supposed to be.
yeah. But since this is not included in the amount, my personal feeling is, for auditing purposes, this should go into new capital. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right, then I will check with Dave. And then the only other thing hanging out there, and then I'm done blabbing, for possible processing by the end of the year would be paying the geothermal company for, whatever their name is, for the work to fix the geothermal units, and that would be $15,000. So if that happens, we have gotten the approval from the EPA to do the work. It had to go to not the EPA, sorry, the state DEP. So that approval has happened. So it may well come in by the end of September. I'll
So
keep you posted.
this is considered a reserve item, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yes, it would be River Club Reserve.
All right.
But I am not processing it until
that's fine.
we have a result. And we're waiting to schedule it with the geothermal people, which I know the pool folks will be happy to hear that we're getting some movement on this. So that's all I had.
Yeah, it's been taking a long time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's just, no, it's with all the, licensing
Yeah.
permits
Sure.
and the ins and the outs, and this should work, this didn't work, and
Right.
drill this hole, this company, that company, yeah, it's been,
Yeah, what's interesting on this too, is when I was, Jamie Selby was here last week, I was telling him about it, and he said they had the same issue, where they, they had to drop the well another 40 feet, and he said, I had absolutely no idea that 2 degrees in pool temperature would set the membership off, but it did. So it's not just us. Anyway, so they are familiar with this. I think they used a different company though, because he said the guy's name was Billy Ray. So anyway, so that's all I had. Is there anything else on here we should use the rest of the time to discuss?
I can give you a quick update that I have scheduled a couple of meetings with our resident experts in security. And so I'm still looking into that. That's just a brief update. I know I decided to delete it off the agenda for a while, but I am still working on that as well. So
Cool.
I will hopefully within,
Interesting.
like by the beginning of October, be able to come in with conversation.
Okay, well, we've got somebody over here pointing at these roof tiles. So Keith is pointing at the roof tiles because he wants us to make a decision, but I just want to weigh in and say, I think with the painting, the roof looks fine. I don't think we should paint it. But anyway, that's my opinion. And I don't think preserving a tile, it's a tile, right? I don't think the tile itself is going to be the issue. If there's a hurricane, it'll just blow off. But anyway, I think it looks really nice the way it is. So I don't know if we have to expend that money.
Are the tiles replaced?
I signed a work order. They'll be out within 3 weeks to replace the ones that are gone.
Okay.
At $900, I think is what it was.
Are they gonna look, is it gonna look really different?
No, we found other tiles that we had,
So
that told, and they're sitting out there waiting for them to be put back on. And if we paint before, we'll just have them paint those tiles so they can put them back on if the painters start before, if you guys decide to paint or not.
You know what's really interesting is a friend of mine who's retired from design said, what you should do is paint the roof the dark brown like the Platkins house. I don't know if you've seen the Platkins.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful brown
it's
roof.
a gorgeous
And she
roof.
said, you should paint the lions the same color. I said, oh, how interesting. So I've been trying to envision that when I came in. I thought, well, maybe not terracotta. I just thought that was interesting. But anyway, do we wait? What do we do? I don't like the pink.
yeah, I don't like it, I'm not crazy about either one of them.
I'm not
Should we
thrilled
wait?
with either one of them.
Well, there's actually 3 there.
Yeah, but I think
The two are
the
so
two are so,
close.
so you can't tell. I don't like them.
Well, let's wait.
I would have no problem making like a gray, I mean, there is a gray in the line, I mean, or some,
Well, the Platkins is like a brown.
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful
I mean, we
brown
can-
color.
gorgeous.
I mean, we can
Lisa,
definitely,
if you're listening.
we can definitely look into that, I mean, I have no problem with that.
Do you know,
Whatever.
they're at 157.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you know them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
how much is it costing to paint the roof?
27.
Couple thousand, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Have we paid it already?
No, we should not have paid it.
Okay,
We
Yeah,
still,
no.
we still,
I just
we
don't
still,
think
we
it
still,
is.
well, we still owe him money.
let's wait.
I think we should wait. 'cause
I think we should wait.
don't think-
Especially, we don't know if the roof is gonna spring another leak anyway, so. All right, so we're all agreed, we're gonna wait on the roof painting. You're gonna keep that pretty pink tile in your office until we.
Then we,
I was gonna give it to Tim.
then we need to talk to him.
Nothing to do.
Oh, Eric? Is
No,
Eric?
it's not Eric,
Oh,
it's
it wasn't?
the painter.
Okay.
Gotta talk to the painter, we're not doing the painting, then we gotta talk to him, we're getting him credit.
We did pay.
The painter's not been paid in full, should not have been paid in full.
He's saying you have to issue,
A credit against the total.
exactly,
Okay.
so we don't pay him the full amount.
Okay. All right. Kelso and I will figure that out.
There's something else probably with that paint that, we were told that bugs and those type of things wouldn't stick to it.
Yeah.
And
That's not been the case. I've been after him and been trying to find out.
That's gonna be a big concern even up at the lighthouse or the gatehouse. That, because we pressure wash that constantly and try to keep the bugs down. And that stuff just doesn't.
Was it a repellent or an insecticide?
Here's the spec sheets.
Yeah, and it's not doing what we were told it was going to do, which is why I've been after Jason, and he
It's
said
an
he had.
insecticide, and, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not happy about the information. I've been going back and forth with him. I finally got an answer from him on Friday, about what's going on with that, because I don't think
It says repels.
yeah, repels and kills. So that means, so you should not have spider webs growing on there, because it should kill it before it gets to
Repel
that
is
point.
repel, yeah.
So I don't understand what's going on. And I've been, I've been after him for a month, almost a month now. We sat, we walked through with him.
What
And
was
he's
the
supposed to get sure.
incremental cost on that?
That I don't know. I finally got this from him.
Oh, you did? Oh, you got that?
I got it,
Okay,
I
there you
got
go.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
So I don't recall what the incremental, it was not huge, but it was designed for a purpose.
To repel.
Yeah, to repel and kill. So we should not have all these bugs sitting around and growing in spider webs and trails and whatnot. Like I said, he just finally answered me on Friday, and I have not had a chance to go back to him again. Because I said, I want to hear it from, he sent me an email, and it just doesn't make sense.
Worst case scenario, best case scenario, he should get a credit from Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
Right,
That'd be good.
Exactly.
right.
Okay. So do I need to do anything on that?
No. I'll follow it up. I'll follow up.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty, let's see, what else on here? Or should we just take a nice break?
Do a golf cart parade, are we gonna talk about
Oh,
that?
Yeah, so Amy's gonna come and speak.
Okay.
Do
And
you,
during
unless you wanna talk
public
about it now, and then she doesn't have to come up here.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it.
I mean.
Is there an issue, Keith? I
No,
mean,
not a bit.
Y'all good?
No
You're
issues
good?
here.
No problem.
Ken?
No. Guards will be ready.
I
We're,
love it.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
Tell Amy to
yeah,
go back to bed. I know she's been out with the dog. already.
Yeah, she's been out with Pooch already.
Okay,
All right,
cool.
all right, thank you very much, Cheryl, I forgot all about that.
Oh, good. Well, that's
Now that's
nice.
on the
It's nice
record,
that
isn't
people are organizing it.
So I
Oops.
actually do have one more thing, something to think
Oh,
about
good.
that I kind of wanted to put on the agenda going forward. Once we have residents start to come back from, like in October and November, there are some residents that do car rentals. And don't have, their vehicle down
Right,
here.
they fly.
So, something to think about, and I'll put it on the agenda, but this is just food for thought, is that if there's a resident in here who rents their vehicle for over 30 days and produces the lease, we would like to issue them a hard standing RFID to put on there for the lease
Yeah.
term of the lease agreement.
makes sense.
Boy, Todd Meyer would have been so happy if he was here, because he and he and his wife Kate ran into that problem. They rented and,
Okay,
it was a
Okay.
problem.
So,
Yeah.
but rental cars may have an RFID there. You gotta be careful. So a lot of times rental cars have RFIDs.
Okay.
if there is, well, we can put it someplace else. We're not-
Yeah,
it's not a-
I think the gesture alone,
yeah.
is.
Of course, there's not a speed bump on the guest side, so maybe they'll just want to go on the guest side.
So is that something that I'm gonna need to put on the agenda, so we actually take a formal vote on, or is this something that we
I
can
think
just go
we
ahead and
should.
coordinate?
We should take a vote.
Take a vote,
Yeah,
okay, so
okay.
I'll throw that on the agenda for next month, or the next meeting.
Okay. Oh, all right,
Okay.
you do it next meeting, okay.
Yeah.
That gives you enough time, okay.
Yeah, I'll just
It's only
put
2
something,
weeks out.
yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so maybe just one more thing, and then we can take a break. When we get to the transition update on the business items, which is 6C, I'm gonna wanna take a minute or two on that. I don't know about the rest of you, although I heard some things. I was up here Saturday, just talking to some of the staff, how you doing, that kind of thing. And I have some things to say about the transition, and one of them is gonna be to read an email into the record. I haven't sent it to you yet, but, so I'm just gonna ask your indulgence, when we get to that item to take, probably 2 minutes to do that, because I think we all agree that if we don't have a staff, we don't have a club. Correct. So I feel really strongly that we need to, at least for ourselves, send a message to the staff, because, and maybe the last thing I'll say, so I don't get emotional about it, is, when I was up here, I didn't feel well because I felt unwell on Friday, so I was down here talking to staff, and they were trying to make me feel better. We're gonna work, everything's gonna be fine, and I was just so humbled by that the staff are here doing their job, saying how much they love working here, and, yay team. And I walked home with a spring in my step.
I was up here Saturday as well.
Because they said, I thought I heard that you were here, so.
Yeah, I was up here Saturday
All right.
around noon,
Okay,
talking to the staff and letting them know what was going on, because they didn't know what was going on. I mean, I've heard that all kinds of.
They do know what's going on. They do.
okay.
All right. I've been up here chatting with the staff as well.
Well,
And
They don't seem to be.
They're
knowing what's
feeling very
going on.
uncertain.
And I did
but
last
I'm-
week, but they were
Yeah.
still uncertain.
Yeah, they don't seem to
yes,
be.
they
know-
were still
They
very
don't seem
uncertain.
to know what's going on. They're very unsure what's going on, as a matter of fact. And very unhappy what's been going on, and the lack of information they've been getting. And I've heard that categorically from virtually everybody, so.
Well, we'll talk more about it,
Okay.
on the meeting. Okay, cool.
Great.
Break time?
Break time.
Okay, Ken, you're gonna just stay on?
Well,
You wanna call back in?
because of Belinda being out,
There's.
Zach set up a team number. I don't know what you want to do.
But do you have, yeah, but I don't think there's a way to have the teams blast into the room. I think you'd be there by yourself.
Well, no, Belinda's gonna have to blast into the
Well,
room, just
yeah.
like last time.
Yeah, but she's not here with a speaker
No.
and computer. How is it gonna be how will Ken's voice be transmitted into the room? Because Belinda's not there. I don't get
Yeah, let's
that.
do that, let's do
Maybe
that.
I'm just slow.
I don't either, actually, to mark up. I mean, we have the link.